The sun, a swollen crimson giant, bled into the horizon, painting the sky with hues of red and orange. It was a sight both beautiful and haunting, a reminder of the planet's harsh and unforgiving nature. It cast long, grotesque shadows across the endless expanse of scarlet sand, creating an eerie landscape that seemed to stretch on forever. The shadows danced and shifted with the setting sun, adding to the surreal atmosphere. Twisted metallic rock formations, remnants of a forgotten cataclysm, clawed at the sky. These ancient structures, weathered by time and the elements, stood as silent witnesses to a history long lost and a civilization that once thrived here. Above, the sky wasn't the familiar blue of Earth. It was a deep, hypnotic sapphire, dotted with the cold fire of a million distant stars. Each star seemed to tell a story, a tale of distant worlds and cosmic wonders. This was Xylos, a planet on the edge of the known galaxy, a place of harsh beauty and unforgiving silence. Its vast deserts and towering rock formations were both awe-inspiring and intimidating, a testament to the raw power of nature. The wind howled across the dunes, a mournful, lonely sound that echoed through the empty landscape. It was a constant reminder of the planet's isolation and the challenges faced by those who dared to explore it. It carried with it the fine, red dust that infiltrated everything, coating every surface and making each breath a struggle. The dust storms were relentless, a force of nature that could not be tamed. The air was thin, the silence absolute, broken only by the sigh of the wind. It was an eerie, almost otherworldly silence that seemed to amplify every sound, making the planet feel even more desolate. In this desolate alien world, three figures stood silhouetted against the dying sun. They were explorers, adventurers seeking to uncover the secrets of Xylos, driven by curiosity and the promise of discovery. Their journey had just begun, and the planet's mysteries awaited them. The man John was tall and lean, his face weathered by years of space travel. His journey had taken him across countless star systems, each one leaving its mark on his soul. The vastness of space had become his home, yet it was also a constant reminder of his isolation. His eyes, blue as Earth's sky, held a deep sadness. They had seen the beauty of distant galaxies and the horrors of interstellar conflict. Each memory was etched into his gaze, a silent testament to the life he had led. He wore the worn uniform of an interstellar explorer, a stark reminder of his origins on a planet now impossibly far away. Each thread of the fabric told a story of survival and resilience. Beside him stood Lyra, a being from a world as alien to him as he was to her. Her skin was the color of polished jade, her eyes large and luminous, like pools of molten gold. Lyra's presence was both comforting and mysterious, her origin shrouded in the myths of her people. She moved with an elegance that seemed almost otherworldly. She was tall and lithe, her movements fluid and graceful. Every step she took was a dance, a silent symphony that spoke of her connection to the universe. Her grace was a stark contrast to the harsh environment they found themselves in. Intricate, swirling tattoos decorated her arms, glowing faintly in the dying light. These tattoos were not just for decoration. They were a part of her identity, a map of her life's journey and the heritage of her people. On his other side was Kira. She was a being of contrasts, her form more humanoid than Lyra's, yet her essence was just as enigmatic. Her form was more humanoid than Lyra's, but her skin was a deep, vibrant blue. This color was not just a physical trait, but a symbol of her resilience and strength, traits that had been tested time and again. Her hair, a cascade of silver, flowed down her back, catching the last rays of the setting sun. It shimmered like a river of light, a stark contrast to the desolate landscape around them. Her eyes, the color of amethysts, were filled with a sorrow that mirrored John's. They had both lost so much, yet found a strange solace in each other's company. They were an unlikely trio, bound together by fate on this desolate world. Each had their own story, their own pain, but together they formed a fragile hope. In the vast emptiness of the universe, they had found each other, and that was enough to keep moving forward. John knelt, his gloved hand sifting through the red sand. He picked up a small, smooth stone, its surface polished by the relentless winds. It was a color he had never seen before, a deep, vibrant purple, shot through with veins of gold. "It's beautiful," he whispered, his voice hoarse with emotion, like a piece of the sky fell down to earth. He looked up at Kira, offering her the stone. "For you," he said, his voice barely audible above the wind. Kira's breath caught in her throat. She reached out, her fingers brushing against his. The touch sent a jolt through her, a spark of warmth in the cold emptiness of her heart. Lyra watched them, her golden eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and understanding. She knew what John was feeling, the deep, aching loneliness of being stranded so far from home. She had seen it in his eyes from the moment they had met, a shared pain that transcended the barriers of language and species. She had felt it too, the pull of her own home world, a distant memory in the vastness of space, but she also saw the connection between John and Kira, a bond that was growing stronger with each passing day, a bond that defied the odds, that transcended the vast gulf between their species. John's voice was soft, almost lost to the wind. This planet, it's beautiful, but it's also a prison. He looked at Kira, his blue eyes reflecting the dying light of the crimson sun. I miss my home, my people, but being stranded here with you both, it's made this exile bearable. Kira's hand trembled as she took the stone. Xylos is my home, she said, her voice a melodious whisper, but it's a lonely place, even for one born to its silence. She looked at John, her amethyst eyes filled with an emotion he couldn't quite decipher. You have shown me that even in the darkest corners of the universe there can be connection. The last sliver of the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in a fiery palette of orange, red, and purple. The first stars, sharp and brilliant, began to appear. They hung like diamonds scattered across a velvet cloth. A single tear traced a path down Kira's cheek, the blue of her skin shimmering in the starlight. It wasn't just the pain of her dying world she mourned, it was the impossible choice she faced, the love she felt for John, a love that could never be fully realized. Lyra, sensing her distress, gently touched Kira's arm. The universe is a vast and mysterious place, she said, her voice soft and soothing. It holds many possibilities, many paths we cannot yet see. John stood between them, a lonely silhouette against the brilliant tapestry of the cosmos. He felt the weight of their gazes, the unspoken words hanging heavy in the air. He reached out, his hand hovering between them. I don't know what the future holds, he said, his voice rough with emotion, but I promise you both you will never face it alone, not while I draw breath. His words hung in the air, a vow spoken under a sky filled with a million silent witnesses. The stars seemed to shimmer in response, their light a beacon of hope in the vast emptiness. Kira stepped forward, her blue hand finding John's. The warmth of his touch spread through her, a stark contrast to the chill of the desert night. Lyra joined them, her hand resting lightly on John's other side. They stood together, a triangle of hope and despair, united by their shared loneliness and their impossible love. The wind whipped around them, carrying their whispered promises and unspoken fears. Above them, the stars blazed on, indifferent to their plight, yet strangely comforting in their constancy. The night stretched on, cold and silent. The vast expanse of the desert lay under a blanket of stars, each one a distant beacon in the infinite cosmos. The air was crisp, and the silence was profound, broken only by the occasional whisper of the wind. It was a night that seemed to hold its breath, waiting for something extraordinary to happen. But for the three figures standing on that desolate plain, it was a night filled with a strange, bittersweet beauty. They were alone, yet together, bound by a shared sense of purpose and destiny. The stars above seemed to shine just a little brighter for them, casting a gentle glow on their faces. For in the face of the vast indifference of the universe, they had found each other. In a cosmos that often seemed cold and unfeeling, their connection was a beacon of warmth and hope. They had traversed countless miles and faced innumerable challenges to be here, in this moment, together. And in that moment, as the stars wheeled above them, it was enough. The universe, with all its mysteries and wonders, seemed to pause and acknowledge their presence. They felt a profound sense of belonging, as if they were exactly where they were meant to be. They had found solace in their shared solitude, a love that transcended species and planets, a bond that was as deep and enduring as the stars themselves. In each other's arms they found a sanctuary from the harsh realities of their world, a love that burned bright against the dying light of a distant sun. Even as the sun set and the shadows grew long, their love remained a constant, unwavering force. It was a light that could not be extinguished, no matter how dark the night became. They knew their time together might be fleeting, a mere blink in the cosmic time scale. Yet they chose to live fully in each moment, savoring the time they had. Every glance, every touch, every shared laugh was a treasure, a memory to be cherished. But they would cherish every moment, holding on to the hope that somehow, somewhere, their paths would cross again. They believed in the power of their connection, a bond that could transcend time and space. They held on to the hope that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, would bring them back together. Until the stars themselves grew cold and faded away, their love would endure. It was a love that defied the very fabric of the cosmos, a love that would last until the end of time, and even then, it would remain, a testament to the power of connection and the enduring strength of the human spirit.